Devin, what are we talking about today?
Lots of shit. We're talking about movies. We were talking about video games, TV, comic books.
What fucking movie did we just watch?
Upgrade 2. No, it doesn't even deserve.
Don't even fucking make a reference to that movie. All right.
It doesn't deserve that.
No
praise. It could maybe be called Venom 2, but it's called Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Sure.
Lady here. We should be out there snacking on bad guys. I am a predator. I need to be free.
You have got to get control of your aggression, or you will get hauled off into Area 51.
Oh my god. I agree with your Snapchat review, Wade. We got duped. We paid to see the same movie again.
It's the same thing. It's the same movie.
It really is. They literally changed like the background and they changed the color.
They took the
antagonist,
like the green symbiote, and they made him red, and they called him Carnage, and like that's it.
For one, this movie was only an hour and a half, but it felt way longer.
Thank fucking Christ! It wasn't even 90 minutes. It was like 85 minutes, and then there was like 5 minutes of credits. That's how much they gave a fuck about this movie. They're just like, whatever. Just slap some shit together.
Way longer to me. Like it just felt so long. I don't know why.
It didn't feel long to me, but I wasn't enjoying it.
I don't know why it felt long to me. Also, the pacing in this movie was really weird to me. Something was off, and I don't know what it was. Maybe you know what it was. But I was just sitting there. I'm like we're just jumping around.
I don't know. It felt like the movie was like re-edited. Like this didn't feel like this was the actual like final cut. It felt like they had a final cut. And then they were like, fuck, we got to trim some of this shit down for whatever reason. So they just started like cutting shit last minute. And then it just doesn't, like, it just flows weird.
Yeah, it really does. Like, even the very beginning, I'm like, this is weird. This is weird to start this movie with. Like, the torture scene and whatever between Shriek and Carnage. And it's like, what the fuck? This is weird to me.
Yeah, it's a non-opening, especially because those characters are boring.
And we don't know anything about them. At all at this point.
I mean, we know a little bit about Cletus Cassidy because they tell us, but like, who the hell's Shriek and why does she have powers in this universe?
I don't know, because no one else has powers.
No one else is like, what the fuck is this? They're just like, all right, she's got powers, cool.
And does she need to be in it? No.
No, she didn't do it. The only reason she was in the movie was to give Carnage some kind of like weakness or some kind of like duality or whatever, but then it's like, okay, why did she have to be Shriek though?
Right,
because she doesn't do anything with her
Shriek.
powers.
Yeah,
so it's like she could have just been a lady.
I don't know. And then we had the weird like side plot of the cop and Shriek that was unneeded. Like, oh yeah, I shot her, she's dead, and he's got like the hearing problem or whatever, and it's unnecessary.
There's the whole movie's unnecessary.
Also, I don't like that guy. He looks like a douchebag. Yeah, the actor he looks like.
I like that actor. He's a really good actor. He was in like The Irishman and shit.
Is he a douchebag?
I mean, he might be a douchebag in real life. I don't know him personally.
I feel like he's probably the nicest guy because he looks like a douchebag.
He might be. I don't know. I mean, he's an actor in Hollywood. He's probably a monster.
Let's start with, I guess, what did they do right for this movie, Wade? What was
honestly
good about it?
I'll have to think for like an hour about what, like the good stuff. It's honestly the same thing, and all the same problems I had with the first one are present, and it honestly feels like they went fuck you and just like amped them up even more.
Specifically you, Wade. They were specifically saying
they were like, this fuck hates it, fuck you, we're doing more of it.
Did we do a review on the first Venom? I don't know.
I think we did the podcast after Venom 1.
Yeah, so I was gonna say they could have just watched your video and just been like, we're gonna do everything he said that he hated and just double it. Even the things that I liked about the first one wasn't present in the second one. So like I kind of liked the dynamic between Venom and Eddie Brock, but in this one, they're just goofballs.
In this one, it's so fucking annoying. In this one, like they have the same kind of arc that they have in the first one, where it's like, oh, I gotta eat people. No, don't fucking eat people. But I gotta eat people, Eddie. Don't fucking eat people. Like that's the whole joke, and it just gets so fucking old.
They're both just big goofballs. Like
they're both idiot morons who somehow like they're superheroes, but like Venom. That's the weirdest part about these movies is that they keep saying Venom is like a superhero and like, but he fucking kills people. He kills more people in this than fucking Carnage does.
He bites their head off.
So it's like, why are you trying to make him a villain or a hero? He's a bad guy. He's killing people.
I don't know. I don't.
He kills more people in this than the villain.
I don't understand it. And like, I like Tom Hardy. Honestly, as Venom, I think
like
he could
Tom Hardy as an actor. I don't like him in this role.
I think he could be a good Venom, though. I don't think it's his fault, and I think Woody Harrelson could be an amazing Carnage.
Woody Harrelson, the most wasted performance of 2021. Woody Harrelson would be a perfect Cletus Cassidy. If you've ever seen Natural Born Killers, that's Cletus Cassidy a little bit. Like that's him. That's what he needed to be in this. In this, he's given nothing to do.
I feel like he's barely
in the he's barely in the fucking movie. And then when we finally see Carnage come out, we see Carnage like twice?
Yeah, the end and like once in the middle.
Yeah. And then he doesn't like he's not that violent and he's not that like holy shit. Like when you have a character like Carnage needs to it's that whole thing we talk about with like Thanos, where Thanos shows up and just wrecks shop. And like that's a villain. We don't see Venom ever like beat the shit out of or Carnage ever beat the shit out of Venom or like ever like do anything where you're like holy shit.
They don't meet until the end.
There's no moment where it's like holy fuck, this is like a real threat. Like we need to be worried about this. It's just okay, he's another gooey man. I fought one of those.
And look, they try to make him seem like a threat at the end with a joke where Venom's like, oh no, he's red. And I don't know why he's afraid of red guys. They never explain why he's afraid of a red symbiote, but
I don't know.
But like that was their like, oh, he's better somehow, but they never explain how.
Okay, cool. How about you show us why he's better?
I don't know. Like what does him being red have to do with anything? Like
why is he even red? Because he's mixed with blood?
I don't know.
That's not how that works.
Also, the girlfriend of Eddie Brock, she didn't do much in this. I don't know why.
Yeah, her and Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
There's no purpose for them to be in here. It's not like her and Eddie are like getting back together or like doing anything. They're just kind of here because they were in the last movie.
Yeah, and like she gets captured like every other
like she did in the fucking first movie. And I thought there was a moment where it looked like they were going to do another Gwen Stacy thing. And I was like, are you seriously going to do another Gwen Stacy thing with another blonde lady like in this universe? Like, fuck you. And then they didn't. And I was like, okay.
I think they did that on purpose. Just for that.
It might have been a callback or whatever, but it was dumb either way.
And so I bet you in the back of Sony's mind, you're like, remember when everybody hated that in Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Did people hate that?
I don't know. I think people hated it because it happened in Amazing Spider-Man 2 so like randomly. Because like Green Goblin wasn't a thing in that movie until the very end. And everybody knows that Green Goblin kills Gwen Stacy in the comics. So like I think that's why people hated it. I think people are like, well, you just shoved that in at the end. Like, what was the point of that?
I mean, that's the same thing here, where it's like they kill off Carnage. Spoilers. Cletus Cassidy's dead. So he's just like a one-off whatever villain. Like,
yeah, Cletus is dead.
You hype up this whole movie. The whole fucking purpose of this movie being made is, hey, we're going to see Venom and Carnage on screen together fighting.
For the first
time. And you kill him.
And he's
gone now.
This is like Superman and Lex Luthor. Like this is Venom's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't kill off.
Carnage is honestly, and this could be like debated, but Carnage is honestly more iconic than Venom is.
Iconic, maybe. Recognizable, no. Because
not recognizable, but like people know him as like this big scary guy. And like he's known as this like fucking evil villain.
I think you're right, only because in recent recent decades, they've made Venom more of like an anti-hero. And that's why they're
possibly, yeah.
And people are like, oh, Venom's a bad guy, but he's not like a bad guy. Carnage is a bad guy. So
I'm the lethal protector. And they said that like 18 times in this fucking movie.
And it's
like, all right, we get it.
We get the reference. You said it 5 times.
Yeah, we fucking get it. It's a fucking callback to the comics. Like, fuck.
Also, What was that weird random scene of just Venom just leaving Eddie Brock and going to a party? Like, what was that?
I don't know. It was more shenanigans that didn't need to be in the fucking movie. And they had a joke, because I remember before I saw this movie, everyone was like, oh, Venom's gay in Venom 2? What? And I was waiting for that moment in Venom 2 where he has a moment where he's like, oh, I like penis and whatever, blah. But then like he there's never really a moment like that. But then there's a moment like at the rave where he's like, I'm coming out of the closet or whatever. But I don't think that meant he was gay, everybody. I think that just meant he was like leaving Eddie or some shit.
I didn't put that as being, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. I think everyone's kind of jumping to conclusions. I don't think Venom is gay. And even if he was, who gives a shit? He's an alien.
He's a gooey alien.
Yeah, he doesn't have a sex.
I was happy about that they actually mentioned that Carnage is his like son per se. That's a comic thing that I didn't think they were going to do.
Did they mention that? I don't remember them mentioning that.
But Carnage says like, that's my dad. He points to Venom. He's like, that's
oh,
my
he
dad.
does.
At the end, yeah.
I was zoned out at that point.
You may have missed it because they threw in, it was a father joke, and there was a pastor there, and they were like, I'm gonna kill the father, and then he's like, not that father, that father. That was the joke.
Oh, okay, that's dumb.
But they
what
mention
a great way to explain who the hell Carnage is.
They did mention it. Also, I feel like it would have been better to build up Cletus Cassidy's, not Carnage, Cletus Cassidy's character if you showed him going to prison and like all the bad shit he did instead of just saying.
Well,
like,
I mean, they couldn't because we already saw in the last movie that he's already in prison.
You could do flashbacks. They kind of did with the weird animation thing, which was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that didn't really explain why he ended up in prison. That was just like, oh, he's a murderer.
He did bad things. He killed his mom and his grandma and other people. It's like, god damn.
And it's like, okay, you're doing a piss poor job at explaining that this guy's like a vicious serial killer. Like Cletus Cassidy in the comics, like doesn't he like even pre-Carnage? Doesn't he like decapitate people?
Yeah, he's a serial killer pre-Carnage, and that's why it's so
no,
scary.
No, but isn't he like a fucked up? Like he like cuts people's heads off. Like that's what he does. That's like his thing.
He's supposed to be kind of like Jeffrey Dahmer. I think that was his like who they pictured when they did that. He also
this is just like, oh, I pushed grandma down the stairs. Aren't I evil?
And then I think in one more recent comics, he bombed like a children's hospital or something.
Yeah, he did.
Like, good lord! Like, come on!
Like that's what they should have did. But they have to make him somewhat sympathetic so he can have that line at the end where he's like, I just wanted a friend. It's like, that's not what you wanted, you fucking weirdo.
No, it would have been better if he said that, but like there was kind of not like a literal wink, but like a wink towards like being like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to manipulate you because I'm an evil douchebag.
That would have made more sense for this version of the character, because there was nothing that indicated that, oh, he's lonely and he wants a friend or whatever. Especially since he broke his like girlfriend out. It's like, you have a friend now.
I don't think I don't know much about comic Carnage, but I don't think they've ever done a sympathetic side to him. They've always just been like, he's evil.
The whole point of Carnage, he is evil incarnate. He is evil embodied in this thing. That is the whole point of Carnage, and that's what makes him scary, because Venom was that, and then this guy shows up, and he's like Venom times 10. You're like, holy shit.
It's basically a what if. Like, what if Venom was attached to a serial killer? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because Venom's attached to a normal-ish guy in Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let's attach him to a serial killer and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's an interesting thing. And they don't even touch on that in this. He's just some fuck. And then he gets out of jail, and he's got some weird haircut. And then he steals a car, and he blows some stuff up. And then he dies, and the movie's over.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the CG in this?
About the same as the first movie. Like, towards the end, I was like, we're getting another goddamn goop monster fight.
In the dark.
And in the fucking dark. At least I can tell the difference, because like one's green or one's black and one's red. But it's still like, it's the same thing.
I feel like
the same fucking thing.
I feel like there were no stakes, because I feel like neither one of them could die.
There weren't any stakes, because even if one of them did die, what was gonna happen?
Right. like
what did Cletus Cassidy like want?
I think he wanted to be the most powerful person in the world.
That's never said.
Because there's no other superheroes or supervillains.
He never says that. Because you would think his ultimate goal in the movie is, oh, he wants his girlfriend back, and that's kind of what he's fighting for.
But that's not Carnage's goal.
But
That's Cletus'.
what's Carnage's goal?
I think it's to just kill Venom. That's his whole goal.
He doesn't know who Venom is until like the last 20 minutes.
No, he says it in the middle of the movie. He's like, we got to kill Venom because he's the only one who can stop us. That's what Carnage.
How does he know he exists?
I don't know. Does he know just because like he's like the offspring of
He
Venom?
just has fucking spider sense or whatever, symbiote sense. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
This is great writing in this fucking movie. Right?
In an hour and a half, you couldn't explain that.
You could have. It's 85 minutes. You have all the time in the world. Make this 2 hours if you have to.
No, wait, you don't get it.
Fuck.
We need more screenings. We need more showings.
I don't think adding an extra 20 minutes is gonna hinder how many like screenings you get of this.
That's one screening a day that we get that we're losing right now.
Oh man.
Maybe even 2.
Or Venom 2. Oh man, I'm so upset that people can't see this fucking movie.
You know what? Endgame was 3 hours, and they still made $3 billion. Like, if you make
that doesn't matter. Endgame made somewhat sense.
If you make a good movie, people will go see it. Like,
yeah, if you make it good, it doesn't matter how long it is. Venom, fuck, give me a 3-hour Venom movie. If it's good, I'll go see it.
Would this, and we discussed this when we watched the first Venom. I don't know if it was ever on camera, but would this be better rated R, or do you think it could work as a PG-13?
I mean, Venom, you could if you did like a hard PG-13, like go as far as you could possibly go with a PG-13. Anything can work as a PG-13 if you do it correctly. You can make a good PG-13 Venom movie. They just didn't. And like Carnage, I think Carnage is one of those characters that can't work in PG-13. I think he has to, because you have to show how evil this motherfucker is by like cutting people's heads off, eating people.
I was gonna say, not like, even Carnage, showing Cletus Cassidy in a PG-13
yeah,
setting,
like you have to kind of, if you want to do that character right, you have to make him as brutal as possible, and you can't really do that in PG-13. And if you can, it's going to be nerfed a little bit. So I think like this one specifically, the first one could have been PG-13. That's not a problem. Like whatever. My problem with the first one is that it should have been a horror movie and not a dumb like buddy cop comedy. This one like definitely probably should have been more R-rated than anything.
There was one moment in this movie where I thought they were kind of going with a little horror. It was one scene. It was when Carnage first like gets busts out of the where he's getting ready to be like executed or whatever. He busts out of it, and it's like there's no music and it's like dark, and he's like, I thought they were going to do a jump scare at first, but they didn't.
That it seemed like they were leaning a little bit more into the horror elements of like the Venom world, but I don't understand why they don't just make horror movies out of these. Like, why are they trying to make these like big action like spectacle? Just make like creepy, weird horror movies.
And honestly, like they're trying to make it funny because MCU, and you could make a horror movie like this and still have a joke. Here's
the thing, though. This is why Sony doesn't fucking understand the MCU and superheroes. Is because I feel like if Kevin Feige, I know I have my own problems with the MCU and they do kind of go overboard on the humor or whatever, but if the MCU did Venom, do you honestly think they would ever go, yeah, let's have Venom go to a rave party and just like wear like a glow stick necklace? Because that's what people want to see. Like, no, they would make him as scary as he could possibly be in a PG-13 environment. Like, they would make him a villain.
He should be like Batman, just in the shadows. Freaking
yeah, he should be like Spawn, where it's like you barely see him, but you know he's there, and he's just kind of like spooking around, like creeping the fuck out of people. Like that's, and I feel like the MCU would have done that. He might not have been R-rated, like, you know, seeing him like eat people or whatever, but he would have still been a little bit more of a serious take on Venom. And then every now and then maybe he'll have like a joke or some bullshit because it's MCU, but like he wouldn't be going to raves and like being like, oh, I like chocolate and chickens and blah blah blah. Like, what the fuck is this?
I don't get it, and I also don't. I mean, they might have, because the MCU's known for that, but they probably wouldn't have killed Carnage in that movie. But maybe they would have, because they do that a lot.
They probably would have killed Cletus Cassidy, but they would have left Carnage around somehow.
Oh, speaking of which, what the heck is up with the cop guy at the end? He had like
I was wondering about that. I don't know. I'm not super like into like Venom lore in the comics. I don't know if that's like a reference to something. I don't know if that's like another fucking symbiote thing coming.
Is he like I don't know who is Toxin in.
Toxin. I mean, Toxin is a police officer, so that might be what they're alluding to.
Is that guy normally Toxin? I don't know.
I don't remember that cop's name because I largely didn't care.
But I also know
they could be trying to set up Toxin.
Carnage is an offspring, or not Carnage. Toxin's an offspring of Carnage. So like, did he bite Cletus and I missed that or something? Like,
no.
Did some of Cletus's blood fall into him or something? I don't
know if that's what it's supposed to be. They did a piss poor job of establishing it.
Because it just seemed like they happens. Yeah, it just seems like they cut back to him and he's got like the glowing eyes, and I'm like, yeah, what I
was like, what is this supposed to be? Like, that's a weird. That's something you put in like the post credit scene. That's not something you leave in the movie.
I totally forgot he was even. I forgot he was even there until they cut back to him. I was like,
because he doesn't do anything. Most of the time, he's just like, Eddie, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you're the key to all this because all bad shit happens when you're around. And then he just like leaves for like 30 minutes of the movie. And then he comes back and he's like, oh, I'm fucking some guy now with white eyes.
And that's honestly what Carnage does too. He farts around for a little bit and he leaves for half an hour.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the majority of the movie is just Venom and Eddie Brock just bickering with each other. I'm like,
it's a stupid buddy cop like role. It's honestly like a bromance movie where it's just about them just being like, oh, I don't want to be friends no more. Buh.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to see that. Like, sorry.
We did that in the first one.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I want like a scary Venom movie. I know that's like a travesty to some people, but like he's a big scary blob man with sharp teeth.
He looks like a monster.
Look at that and go, hey, let's make a goofy buddy comedy out of that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? The cast was wasted. I felt so bad for Naomi Harris, who plays Shriek, because she's actually like a great actress. She was given nothing to do. It made me laugh because we saw a younger version of her at the beginning of the movie and she was a lot darker. And I'm like, that's not how I love how movies do that, where they'll cast like a young version of a black actor and they're like 10 times as dark as they usually are. Black people don't do that.
Nah, you don't get it, Wade.
We don't get lighter as we get older. Like, that's not how that works.
She went to the beach right before she went to prison, so she's just more tan.
Sure. Black people don't tan, all right? And then she has one line in it. The only black person in the whole movie. She looks at like some jewelry and goes, ooh, look at that blingity bling. I was like, did you really have a black woman in 2021 say that in a movie? What the fuck?
I'm surprised she didn't just go like, are we really like doing this? Like,
yeah, I'm sure her as like an actress in real life, she was probably like, fuck, I can't believe I just like said that. Like, god damn it.
Was that guy at the beginning who was playing Woody Harrelson? That wasn't Woody Harrelson, right? That was a different actor.
No, yeah, those are both different actors.
Okay.
But it was which was odd.
Yeah. Because I was like, that's Woody Harrelson's voice, but that's not Woody Harrelson's
that was very
face.
distracting. They could have just not done that, and I think we would have gotten like we would have connected the dots.
Right. Let's talk about the thing that everybody's been talking about.
The only thing that anyone fucking cares about in this movie. We're gonna get into spoilers.
What they marketed most of the movie around. I know you probably haven't seen most of the trailers.
No, they totally fucking did. They ruined they ruined the fucking, much like Sony likes to do. They ruined the big like twist post credit thing in the marketing of the fucking movie.
They were like, the multiverse is coming together. It's like, wait,
it was like the universe is expanding, and which is the same. I noticed people point out that was like the same line they used in the No Way Home trailer, and that's kind of how like people connected it.
But like, that's not what this movie was about. So like, why are you?
It has nothing to do with the movie.
It's just a scene after the movie.
So we're gonna get into spoilers if you haven't. So like,
this is the only major spoiler that's.
I honestly like don't even really give a shit if I spoil this for people because I kind of feel like it's not even worth it. Like, but whatever, we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, this whole review has been spoilers.
If you've seen the first Venom movie and you liked it, you'll probably like this stupid fucking movie.
It's the same.
It's the same movie. It's the same thing. So.
You can just see at the end the fight just a little bit better because one's not gray and black; it's red and black.
If you own the first Venom on Blu-ray, just watch it twice, and then you'll experience Venom 2.
There you go. All
right.
Talk
about the post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. I have multiple takes on what happened in this.
None of this makes any fucking sense.
The whole movie, including the post-credit scene, was terribly explained. So
yeah, it was. It really was.
Like I don't know if they did that on purpose. Be like, oh, we're leaving it up to the viewer to figure out what happened.
I don't know.
And I have a feeling that this was all Sony. This wasn't Andy Serkis. This was all Sony. But...
Oh no, it was definitely Sony. They have a track record of doing that.
Yes. But like, so Eddie Brock's like sitting in like a hotel in Fiji or something.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there just watching TV in Spanish, and Venom's like, "Hey, let me show you like my history or whatever."
Yeah, he's like, I have like the history of the universe, and,
the
like,
20 billion years or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And it's just like, all right, so Venom's that old, cool, whatever. He's gonna show him it. Then all of a sudden, there's a big yellow flash in like the room, and the room changes or whatever. And on the TV, instead of playing the Spanish show, they're playing the end of Far From Home, where they got J.K. Simmons being like, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and he killed Mysterio and whatever, and then Venom licks the screen.
Yeah, Venom walks up to the screen and he goes, "Ooh, that guy," as if he like knows him. Which is odd.
That's why I have two theories.
And also, is Venom like a time traveler? Like, does he know how to like break dimensions and stuff? Like, what does that?
Two theories. Two theories. This is my two theories. I think either one could be true, and I think they're doing this so that they can pick one, and that way they have two options they can go with.
Probably.
So my first one is the obvious one: is the yellow light is Doctor Strange doing his thing.
That's what I figured.
And he got poofed into the MCU. I don't know why, but that's what happened.
No, the multiverse broke. Like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. My second theory is that for some reason the Venom hive mind can travel between dimensions or universes or whatever.
What?
And this is a variant of Venom in a different universe that he can control. I don't know why.
So you're saying there's another Venom?
There's a Venom in the MCU, and then there's the Venom in the Venomverse. But Venom is powerful enough he can travel his mind between universes or whatever.
Okay.
And this is a variant. You know how like Loki's got the girl variant in the Loki show? This is a variant of Venom, and he can just control in any variant.
That could be interesting actually. That's how they could kind of like retcon Venom being like a villain. Where it's like, this is a different Venom.
This is a different Venom.
He's like a shithead.
Yeah. But I don't know. That doesn't explain how Eddie Brock knows what's going on. Maybe.
I don't think he does. I don't know. I think he at the end of it, he was like, I'm confused. He has that same goddamn look that he has in both Venom movies, where he's just like, I don't know what's going on.
The only hope that this gives me is that Venom will be written by the Marvel people and possibly better in an upcoming thing, because if he's in a Spider-Man thing, it will most likely be written by the MCU people, not by someone.
Well, I mean, Tom Hardy's already confirmed that the next Venom movie is going to have Spider-Man in it.
And does that mean it's a Venom movie, or is it going to be a Spider-Man? Is it going to be Spider-Man 4?
He said the next Venom movie, Venom 3, is going to have Spider-Man in it, and they're going to fight. That's what he said. I don't know if they're going to warp that into another Spider-Man movie later or what, but
that doesn't give me hope.
No.
If anything, that's going to ruin Tom Holland's Spider-Man for me.
It'll be interesting how they do that.
Also, weird thing. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but on the TV when they were showing Tom Holland, he was wearing a Spider-Man suit without his mask, and I'm like, where'd they get that picture?
Yeah, where'd they get that picture? Why did Venom look at him and go, "Oh, that guy! Like, I want to meet that guy." But like, it would make sense if Venom saw Spider-Man like doing something on TV, and he's like, "Oh, that guy's got some fucking powers. Like, I want that shit." But he just saw like a little boy in like a Halloween costume, and he's like, "Oh, that looks tasty." And I'm like, "Is Venom a pedophile?"
I don't know. And also, does that mean we're not getting the black suit storyline? Because like he's already like,
I don't know. I feel like that's what they're alluding to. Like, he's gonna go find Spider-Man and like sense that like, oh, he's got all these powers, and he's gonna kind of like get on him for a little bit, and then he gets the taste of Spider-Man, and then he comes back to Eddie at some point, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like, Spider-Man didn't want me. Fuck him. Like,
oh, so you're thinking
that's how I think that's how they're gonna do it.
So you're thinking it's kind of like a Spider-Man 3 scenario where like, this is the most powerful being that I know of. I want to attach to him type thing. That's what
yeah, I think that's what they're probably gonna do.
Because that's kind of what they alluded to in Spider-Man 3. Like, oh, Spider-Man is the most powerful being in this universe. Not in the MCU. He's not the most powerful.
They kind of did, but at the same time, he landed like 5 feet away from him. So
Intentionally.
It's like he doesn't fucking know. Like,
intentionally.
Sure, that was never said, but sure.
But like maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's like, oh, I'm gonna attach.
That's what I think it is.
That's not Eddie Brock because Eddie Brock doesn't have no power.
But again, that would make sense if they were doing that. If he saw like a video of Spider-Man like stopping a car or some shit, he's like, oh, that guy's got some shit. Like I want that. But he just saw an image of little baby boy Tom Holland, and then he was like, I want that.
And I guess that's how you make another like feud between Eddie Brock and Venom. Like, oh, Eddie Brock's like, you just gave up on me, like you douchebag.
Well, I mean that could be a way for Eddie Brock to hate Spider-Man, maybe, where it's like he sees that Venom is doing better with Spider-Man, and he's got all these powers and he's got all these abilities and whatever, and then he's like, fuck, like what? Like we're the lethal protector. Like what the fuck? Like you just left. Like fuck you, Spider-Man. And then maybe like I don't know. It'll definitely feel odd and kind of forced, but I think that's kind of how they're gonna try and weave in some kind of rivalry between Venom and Spider-Man.
It's also, if this is true that this is a different Venom in the MCU, that gives me hope that there might be another Cletus Cassidy in the MCU.
Probably there might be.
So. Maybe we'll finally get to see Spider-Man versus Carnage.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
It's
going to be weird. Nice. It's going to be weird seeing baby boy Tom Holland versus old man Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's not that old.
Compared to Tom Holland?
Well, I mean, sure. Well, how old is Spider-Man supposed to be in No Way Home? Is he like 18 finally?
17, 18.
17, 18. So he's going to, by the time they fight, he'll be like early 20s maybe.
But Eddie Brock is supposed to be around the same age, and Tom Hardy is not. Tom Hardy's like a 40-year-old man.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't care.
It's gonna be weird. I still think it would have been better just to put both Venom movies in the Andrew universe. I think that would have.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. How people, even if they hated Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, people would have lost their goddamn fucking balls if, like, at the end of Venom 2. He sees like a video of, or like a news thing talking about Spider-Man, and it's fucking Andrew Garfield swinging around. Like people would went, holy shit, that's cool.
That would have been.
And that would be a clever way to like continue that universe while also kind of like doing your own thing and like, you know, having the MCU go. Like that would have been cool. That would have been kind of a clever way of continuing that universe. And maybe we could see Andrew Garfield fight this Venom at some point like that.
I was gonna say, because then in No Way Home you get reintroduced to Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yeah.
People like that, and you'd be like, all right, let's continue with Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And let the MCU continue their Spider-Man. We have 2 Spider-Man franchises.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
But no, we gotta have 1 franchise. Unless you count Spider-Verse, the animated movie, you got 2.
Sure.
But that's it. So yeah, I think there was another after credit scene, but I didn't watch it.
I don't think there was, and if there was, I don't care.
So I don't know, but I heard somebody else talking about like there was a mid-credit scene, so I was like, is there an after-credit scene that I didn't?
Well, the mid-credit scene was the big one that everyone was talking about. I don't think there's another one because I haven't heard anyone talk about 2.
If there is another one, it's not important, but I didn't watch it. So.
It's probably something dumb, like at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, where it's like the ants playing the drums. It's probably something irrelevant. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
it's Venom like eating a burrito, and he's like, "Oh, that's yummy. I like burritos now."
But literally, and I don't know how full was your theater when you went and watched it? Was it?
I mean, it was like maybe like 10 people in there.
I think there was about 30 in mine, and like at the end credit scene, like it was silent throughout most of the movie. There was a couple people laughing, but at the end credit scene, almost everybody was like, "No way!" And I was like, "Really?" Like the whole movie.
Do you fucking people not expect this? Like, if you're a fan of the MCU, you know the multiverse is going to be a big thing. Did you genuinely not like expect this might happen at some point?
Well, the guy sitting right, like somebody sat right next to me. I'm like, the whole theater's open, man. Why you guys sit right next to me? Anyways, there's a guy sitting right next to me, and he was talking to his buddy, and he's like, "Is Rocket Raccoon gonna be in this?" I was like, "God fucking damn."
What?
Like,
what?
Yeah, I didn't.
He said that like just during the movie, like.
No, this was before the.
What? What a moron! I'm sorry, random stranger, but you're a dumbass.
I was just
that's like me going to go see the Batman and being like, "Oh, is fucking Batmite gonna be in this?" Like, why the fuck would Batmite be in this?
I was just like, I really want to just be like, look, dude, like, no, don't ask stupid questions.
Called Venom.
Why would Rocket Raccoon?
Why would a space raccoon show up in this?
Like, I didn't understand his question at all.
I don't know, people are dumb. I honestly, like, I tried not to poo-poo on people's enjoyment as much as possible. Like, if you like stuff, fine. I don't care. I'm glad you're not a cynical asshole like I am. But when I see that people like these movies, I just want to like I want to die.
It had, I think it has the third or second highest grossing first day for 2021. I mean, it's not saying much.
It's not saying a whole lot, but fuck,
I think the only thing, I think Shang-Chi beat it out because it's number one, and I think Black Widow may have beat it out for day one. I don't know that for sure.
Either way, it's doing too well. And it's got an 85. It's got an 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and that makes me really depressed.
For critics, which
that's largely irrelevant because I think the first one had around the same. And
I looked. The first one had like a 30%, so critics like this one more than.
That's weird.
Than the first one, but I don't know. But like, you got to think, what else is out? So go watch in the theater.
It doesn't. If that's what we're dictating is a good movie, it's just what can I go see? That's not like.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like when people go to the movies, they're like, okay, what are we gonna go see? It's like, oh well, there's nothing really out except for Venom. Let's go see Venom type thing. Like
you just stay at home and watch Netflix.
People want to see new stuff. People want to go back to the theater.
There's new stuff coming out on Netflix. Go watch Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol season 3 just started. Watch that shit.
It's not the same as going to the theater though.
Instead of fucking Venom. Go to a movie theater and go, hey, can I watch Doom Patrol here?
And they'll be like, no, go home.
What if I give you like $100? That episode's an hour long. I'll be here for like an hour and that's it.
It's like we physically can't. That's illegal.
Fuck you. Is that illegal?
I don't think they can stream something they haven't been given.
No, I'm streaming it.
Oh, you're streaming
for my own personal use on a movie theater screen.
Anyways, that's our Venom review. It's the same as the first one.
It's so bad. Stop watching this shit.
I mean, me and you are going to continue to watch it because we hate it.
No, honestly, if Venom 3 comes out, I'm not watching it because it's probably just going to be this again.
What if it's Spider-Man versus Venom?
I'm done. I don't care. You screwed the pooch. You fucking Sony's ruined it for me. I don't care at this point. I'm done with these fucking stupid Venom movies.
Man, Wade's dropping franchises left and right.
I'm done.
Pretty soon he's gonna just give up on Batman, and then what is he gonna let?
If they start pumping out shit Batman movies, fuck that. I'm watching that shit.
Then what's Wade gonna have to live for?
Nothing.
Oh shit!
Whoa, where you going?
That is a red one!
You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody!
Promise!
I promise!
Oh yeah!
Betty, you feel like home to me. Like family.
Oh wow!
You could just say I'm happy for you.
That was going to be us!
I am happy for you.
No!
God, I'm so sorry.
Not sorry!
This two needs some serious couples counseling.